But I feel like it's sounding to me like this could be the time where the Warriors simply say to Draymond, look, you're under contract for $27.8 million. Okay? You see the way our books are right now. You got to play. And this is the other thing, and I get it straight, but like, so he's mad. He's been mad half his career. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, like, you cannot, if you believe as a front office that it's a sound move to not do that, you can't do it just because he wants it. Like, they've had various times over the years to hold the line and to make strong decisions. Sometimes they've done it, other times they haven't. But this would be a time where I believe they could do it.
Okay.
You're not there yet, which is fine because nothing's happened. But I look at it as, man, Slater just wouldn't put that in a story as a throwaway line.
No doubt. And my ears are perked and my eyes are wide open. And I'll say this to you all. I feel like I'm the emotional one on and off the air of the show. And I believe emotion plays a big part in life and decisions. And at every turn, I believe Draymond Green, right or wrong, nobody's perfect. His emotion has won out to the point to where it got him that 400 when it shocked everybody. And I will say this to Klay Thompson and put it right on the table, brought to you by Echo Pest Control. Wouldn't you agree with this, or tell me if I'm not in the ballpark? I believe Klay, without trying to be a dark cloud, became a dark cloud, and his emotion about where he was at and what was going on with his career from a personal standpoint, it was sucking the life out of the team. And I think a part of that is why the Warriors made their decision to move him. Would you say I'm in the ballpark with that? Klay's emotion became, something that, it was a bear. And I think people might
mollify Draymond so he doesn't become a bear. This is, you know what? Chris A. in Oakland has it.
Give it to me.
He's absolutely right. The way I look at it, I kind of think Draymond owes the organization. You know what?
I would love to hear Dray respond to Chris.
If after all this time, the Warriors simply say to Draymond, not hit the pike.
I got you.
All they're saying to him is,
but there's a message there.
Yeah, the message is this is your last year with the Warriors. Unless you're actually good. It happens to every player under the sun.
No doubt. So, it happened to Klay. But I just don't think they'll do that to Dray. I'm in. I'd have to see it, partners, all I'm saying.
You know what's funny is the whole verbiage behind this. Like you say, I don't think they'll do it to Draymond. I don't think they look at it like that.
Give it to
I think Mike Dunleavy, and this is kind of the way he set it up a month or two ago, he said, Draymond has a decision to make. Like, Draymond has the decision, not the Warriors. He's got the player option. Okay. Draymond, what are you going to do? Well, I'd like to opt out and get a 2-year deal.
And I'm willing to take a pay cut.
Okay.
To secure my future here in the Yay.
That doesn't work. That doesn't work for us.
That card could be over. Or
just doesn't work for us right now.
And then he's going to possibly watch his counterpart, his best bud. And again, they're two different players, and we get it. One's a franchise. So you're telling me that's going to happen with Dray, and we're days or weeks away from an announcement in regard to whatever that figure is for Curry's extension?
Well, you think Curry's going to be like, I'm not signing
I'm not even saying that. I'm just looking at through Dre's glasses.
Yeah.
Like the handwriting would be on the wall.
Wake up and smell the roses. You're 36 years old, and
I thought you was talking, I'm 56, but yeah.
And you got to figure it out at some point.
I just want to see them do, because that would be, to me, a signal like, Mike D is like, some things have changed, Goo. We're going in a different direction. So people might not be, super happy with, but this is it. And I'm like, okay, I'm watching.
I think what the Warriors are doing here, and I could be wrong, but I think Draymond said to the Warriors, the Warriors said, what are you going to do? And his agent said, well, you know what we want to do. We want to rip it up and give us 2 years. Mm-hmm. And I have a feeling the Warriors are saying something to the effect of, well, if we do that, hey, Rich Paul, you see our books. We're setting up for everything in next year. So if we're going to have Draymond occupy the year after next, then we've got to rip up this $27 million, but we can only give you 30 total. We can only give you 15 and 15 for the next 2 years. Or even if it's like 16 or 17 and 17.
Yeah.
Then he gets up to 35, which is just $8 million more than he'd make in 1 year. I think they're putting the onus on him, but they're not it feels like they have to push that salary, if they use him to do it, from 27 or 28 to 19.
Yes.
And if that's too low for him, well, then he's not going to sign a 2-year deal, and that's why he's opting in. So if it plays like that, if it plays out like that, it could work out well for the Warriors.
Yeah. And I don't want to. I know you, Willard, and Dibbs and I talked about it on the evening crossover a couple weeks ago, just about would Dray take the 2 for 38. And, I don't want to count his piggy bank or his checkbook, but the bottom line is, if he truly is willing and he doesn't want to uproot his family and be here for the next few years, it's easy for me to say, dude driving a 2019 Cadillac, Stoney, but I think I would really think hard about doing that in regard to, okay, from 27.5 to 19, but I'm here, I got an extra year, I'll do it. And I'll tell you who did take a pay cut, and I'm not comparing the coach to the player, was Steve Kerr. And I thought he was the guy for the job, but I thought he was the guy for the job because Draymond was going to be here for the foreseeable future.
See, what I think is, I think everything matters that's happened in the past. And here's what I think Mike Dunleavy's probably thinking. And I'm sorry, but I'm going back to the Suns game. Because we all talk about the Clippers game and the way that ended.
Right.
But maybe the more important game might have been the Suns game and how Draymond finished off the year again. And when he walked by Mike Dunleavy, and Mike Dunleavy didn't even look at him and was clearly disgusted.
Man.
I believe Mike Dunleavy at that point said, we cannot do this for another year, or it would just be. I'm almost
this
convinced.
This could be your finest moment, man.
I'm almost convinced that he's ready to not take on Draymond, but he's ready to say, no, you got 1 more year left in your contract. What are you gonna do? Okay, I'm opting in. All right. Do you want us to look to trade you? Well, I don't know. I want to retire here. Okay. Well, you can retire at the end of the year, or we can talk at the end of the year and we'll give you another year at, the mid-level or something. But they're not going to it doesn't feel like they're going to let him dictate that. Now I'm on the team for 2 more years. Period. End of story.
And Stoney, I keep bringing up the E word, and I hear you, and I thank you. And I thank you about that night, that game against Phoenix that, again, I was at the bar. I didn't, the draft, shout out to Pleasanton Sports Bar, I didn't see that in real time. And when I went back and watched that, and that's the stuff I love, I think there was something there. Now, I'll tell you this. If you're telling me that they're saying, hey, do you want us to look to trade you? If he's so offended by not getting that extra year or them playing ball, that could lead him to, you know what? If that's what you want, Stoney, and that's what you want, yeah, let's do that. It could be bang, bang.
Yep.
Not Niner game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like Dunleavy.
It's interesting, man.
It's not like Dunleavy has to sit down with Draymond. All Dunleavy has to do is tell Draymond's agent, we're not gonna. He's got 2 choices. He can opt in. Hey, Rich.
I'd love to hear that podcast.
Hey, Rich, Paul, look at our book. You're not an idiot. Look at our books. We don't want anybody clogging up our books in that year. We're not going there. We're not. And you know what you could also say? What if you could say this? We're not touching pods this year either, Draymond.
Because I thought that was coming.
Steph has given us permission to push it off 1 year.
Wow.
Well, then he's night-night.
And I'll do this, Mr. Emotional, talking about myself. So you're telling me, I'm stealing that from you, when it's all said and done, only Curry and Steve Kerr would have finished and walked through the doors of the dynasty coming and going, those were the two that finished. Because that's what would happen if...
Well, unless Draymond retires at the end of this year.
Well, yeah, which not going to happen. But you know what I mean? Even another uniform,
I wouldn't say for sure.
Whoa. Yeah, that would be a shock.
He is declining in a big way. Yeah. And look, Draymond declining with his attitude and his reputation, he might be a guy who, if next year is his last year, but he's a free agent, I don't know that somebody's going to give him a lot of money. I would almost think that nobody's going to give him any money, but until he becomes such a no-brainer that you're like, let's just go get Draymond. But keep in mind, that'll be a year and a half from now.
Yeah. And you can scoff at this.
He'll be further diminished.
I'm just looking at the year the Clippers had, and I can tell you right now, they got some pieces, Kawhi, but they don't have a player like Draymond Green. If it wasn't, the Lakers, for that matter, don't have a player like Draymond Green. So I just think he would be attractive. Now, at what number, I don't know. But, man, I believe if that were – and I'm kicking the can down the road. But if that were to happen, I'm just talking about how emotional and fired up Dray would be and pissed off. You're going to get whoever, if that did happen or transpire, you would get a Draymond Green that's ready to go.